How much do you want to put on this? 10. Oh. Not that bad. Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. In today's episode, we will actually be flying out to Franklin, Kentucky, which is really random for me for many reasons. I've never even been to Tennessee. So the reason why we're going is because we have a buddy out there who's now a co-owner of a poker social club. It's called The Barrel Social Club, and it's actually Matt Vaughan, who is my buddy. He's an OG poker vlogger, poker player, now runs a social club, and he's doing all kinds of things. We will be interviewing him. But anyway, yeah, we're flying out there, and I hope you guys enjoy this vlog. We have cash, we have tournaments. Before we get into it, I did want to let you guys know, again, I am on Club GG. If you guys want to play online, micro stakes cash games to daily tournaments to main events on Sundays with like lots and guarantees. I'm playing online. You can play on your phone. Click the link in the description if you want to join, or here's the club ID. Just download the Club GG app, and it's easy to join. Let them know Poker Llama sent you, and I'll see you guys on the virtual flout. With that being said, more announcements to come later. Let's get right into the vlog. Let's go to Kentucky. Let's go. So we're here at the Holiday Inn in Franklin, Kentucky. We're about, I don't know, 4 hours of sleep in. We landed at 7 a.m. We had a red-eye flight, and then we slept. Now we're up, and we're gonna go have coffee now at 1 p.m. with Matt and Mickey. They're gonna pick us up, show us downtown Franklin, see what it's like, and just catch up, get to meet one another a little bit more closely with Cass, meeting Mickey, and all of us. Anyway, point is, we're getting the day kicked off, and later tonight, we're finally gonna be at the Barrel, playing some poker. Let's go. So we've been waiting out here for 20 minutes. God damn it, Matt. No, I'm just kidding. He's inside actually with Mickey, trying to arrange something with the hotel manager. They're gonna have like a yearly event, and they want to host people here, so they're probably just trying to get a room block and a deal. Anyway, yeah, so we're waiting. We're finally gonna go get some coffee.
I'll be your Uber today.
Oh man, if I can get her.
The graphics ones, their monitors or what?
She'll probably smell like our cat and smell the.
Likes is an interesting word to use.
So if people reach, does she get spooked or does she get aggressive?
Mostly spooked.
Okay.
If she has a place she can get away to, she'll just back up. She's very skittish with like quick movements, but if you just reach her hand down, she might sniff it. Triple, but then there's an H that's like bigger.
What up, gang? The night begins now here at The Barrel Social Club, aka formerly known as Triple Barrel. The sign is over there guiding everyone who drives into this parking lot. So this is called Exit 2. So if we walk on over this way, you'll be able to see the parking lot over here. If you guys have ever been to Portland Meadows, this gives me like Portland Meadow vibes. I'm excited to see what it's like. 2-5, 1-3 game, meetup game tonight. Cash game tomorrow is gonna be tournaments. Let's get this rolling. Let's walk on over. Matt Vaughan gave us a ride, by the way, but he didn't want to deal with all this, so he's like, let's just, I'll wait for you inside. So, yeah, let's see what's inside. Let's go. Okay. It seems, okay, look, this is it. It's bigger in person. All right, so what are we doing tonight? Cash games 1-3 and 2-5.
1-3 and 2-5 tonight. Looks like both lists are growing. It's still pretty early, Friday. Hopefully we'll go pretty late.
Yeah, so
I know you were on a plane like less than 24 hours ago.
the red eye, yeah.
We'll keep you tired, don't worry.
But we have some, what do you call this again?
Cornhole boards.
Cornhole. What am I missing here? Cornhole as we wait, so we'll get some cornhole going. First impression is family owned in a good way. I like it. You know, no big corporation over here.
It's not a casino.
It's not a casino, and people have to pay a daily membership, right?
That's right. We're a membership club, which basically means we're totally private. You have to be 21 or over, and if we don't like you, you can't be in here. No, yeah, essentially, there's 3 tiers of membership. Most people do dailies, and that's $10.
I see. There you go. And then the hourly, and then the tournaments, you don't pay for the hourly, you just pay for the fee, and you can sit here as long as you like, as long as you pay the daily or your membership in general, because that's what allows this place to be up and running. But we'll talk about that, to exist, yeah, we'll talk about that later. So we grab our chips and head over to the brand new 1-3 table. Everyone's being friendly. Everyone's ready to go to kick off the evening. It's a $500 max buy-in. All right, 1-3 aim to start, and here we go.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your first name?
First real name is.
I mean,
What do you want us to call you?
You call me Llama.
you poker all night long. You know what
Yeah. My real name is Edwin, but in the poker world they call me Llama. Poker Llama. Yeah, Llama.
I didn't feel like Mr. Llama is my father.
No. And nothing crazy here, but I did want to showcase how the table talk is, how friendly it is. When I ask about eating at the table, this is what they have to say or what it sounds like.
Yeah, man. Out for dinner break or?
Oh no, not yet. We're not allowed to eat while we play.
Too.
Oh, I don't know the rule.
Yeah.
Visitors aren't allowed.
Anyway, our very first hand, nothing crazy. Just wanted to speed this up. We have an open. I 3-bet with ace jack of clubs. And the flop pretty much goes check check. The turn goes check check as well. And then the river is an 8. So 9 high board there. I don't really have anything but ace high. Guy bets $20. I just want to see it, and I end up calling. And we're here to give action, guys. We're not here to knit it up. We're not here to be a mouth breather. We are here in Kentucky. We didn't fly all the way over here to play like a pro or anything like that. So a lot of the hands you will be seeing in this vlog may tend to be a little wide or marginal, so keep that in mind. We're going to go to our very first big hand. This is an interesting one. We pick up the Doyle Brunson 10 deuce of diamonds. Of course, I'm going to open it up here to $15. Get one caller to our left, and then the small blind ends up flatting, and we go 3 ways to the flop. The flop comes king, queen, 7 with 2 diamonds. If we're going to play the Doyle suited, this is the kind of flop you want. We got some backdoor broadways and of course the diamond draw. So I'm going to go ahead and c-bet here. We get one caller to our left, and then the small blind ends up raising it up. I believe it's $70, if not 85, something like that. I end up just jamming. I'm trying to get all the money in. They do let us run it twice, and we are here to give action. And he ends up tanking because the guy to my left ends up folding, by the way, and then he ends up tanking for a long time, kind of trying to figure out what I have, if I have a set of queens or maybe kings or set of 7s. Some people were saying I probably had a set of 7s after the hand. But anyway, what ends up happening is he ends up letting it go, but he throws his hand over my way. Surprisingly, we look at ace king. He had no diamonds, but man, he had a monster. He said his hand was under repped and he was trying to trap, but he didn't know I'd make a move like that, so he gave me a lot of credit. Later on, I admitted that I had the Doyle Brunson suited. He was kind of upset, but you know, we're here to give action and have some fun. So on to the next hand. We pick up pocket 5s in middle position, and we go heads up to the flop. The flop is going to come deuce 9 deuce, so 9 high. We could still be good a lot of the times here against like any potential ace highs. Ace X of hearts, maybe, like flush draws are out there. I think I should be checking here into 2 players, but nonetheless, I c-bet. Guy to my left just calls, and we go heads up to the turn, which is a 7 of diamonds. Now I end up just checking here because I have showdown, and he ends up just betting 25. Of course, I'm just gonna call just to see the river. Again, I'm still ahead of any potential heart draws that are trying to get there. And then the river is a king of hearts, so I'm losing a lot to a lot of flushes I got there, etc. I check, and then I end up telling him that he has pocket 7s. For some reason, this opponent, I just had a gut feeling he was pretty nutted here. You know, just making it entertaining. I'm not thinking of calling by no means. I'm just kind of like, you know, trying to get into his head, trying to read his hand, and I ended up letting it go. And he's like pretty close. He throws me his hand, and he shows pocket 9s for a flop full house. So yeah, my read was correct, but you know, I had to try to make a move with my 5s. How much are we putting on this? $20? So we're putting $20 on this. Keep in mind, I didn't play much cornhole any time of my life, I guess, until I met you, really. My girlfriend holding the camera. Anyway, we're putting money on this. We're gonna interview Matt Vaughan, who's one of the co-owners here at Barrel Social here in Franklin, Kentucky. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey of like transitioning from player to now operations? First of all, how are you, man? This is so...
Fantastic. No, I'm tired, but I'm tired all the time, so that's pretty normal. Yeah, I mean, the transition was very abrupt, very unplanned. Got the call one day about coming on board. Was excited to come on board, but I was going to be more passive, and then very quickly after open, that transitioned into helping out, and then ultimately coming on board, moving out here full time to help run the place.
Yeah, so you went from Vegas to Franklin, which is a huge change of environment, setting, demographic, everything.
Yeah.
How was that? Like the transition, like culture shock, access to casinos, etc.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not that different as you'd think. I think coming from those places, the worst part about Franklin right now is that there's not enough places to eat. For me, like I'm a foodie, and coming from Vegas to here, that's like been the worst part. But Franklin's also growing, so it's been cool to see things coming up. I know it might feel small to some people, but they just opened a Dunkin' like a month ago, and I'm super pumped about that. It's literally on my way to work.
Matt, I just realized I did ask you 17 questions before even throwing, so we got to throw now. Okay. We gotta take our shots.
Sorry, I'm not actually gonna leave my money on the board. It feels dangerous.
Yeah, $20 on the line. You can go first, sir. And
here's a little pointer. There's actually a disadvantage to go first in cornhole.
Why?
Because unless you're like maybe a savage and you can just block the hole every time, but going second, it's like poker. Going second means more information.
Yeah, so
you know how to throw around on the board. You get the last shot every time.
Okay, good to know. But you can still go. Yeah. Root for the underdog, people.
I never played cornhole until I was like 29 or something, so it was only a couple years ago. I know I look old.
No, you look young. That's. I thought that was yesterday. All right.
Let the embarrassment come out.
All right, here we go. Gravity, do your thing. Oh, that's about the equivalent of your shot.
Nice shot.
Fuck. Jesus. All right, here we go.
What did we say we're playing what are we playing to?
5. So you got.
He's got 3.
He's got 3 already.
Oh, so close. I want to think it so bad.
Okay.
Interesting.
Aw. There we go. Oh, what? I swear that was gonna land on there. So it's 3-0, it's 3-0. Can you talk a little bit about the rebrand? I know you just rebranded recently. And by the way, congrats, because the logo is sick.
Thank
I will
you.
put it here on the screen. Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so original name, Triple Barrel Social, actually came before I was even on the team. And it stems from obviously a couple different things. Triple barrel is a thing you can do in poker, and we're in Kentucky where bourbon is huge, and that's aged in barrels. So it kind of works a couple different ways. I liked the name, but it also kind of felt a little bit cumbersome, like especially to people who aren't like very in poker. It didn't inherently like evoke that sense of what we do primarily here. We were very different as well. And as our team has grown and kind of matured and stuff, we just felt like moving the look and feel and identity of what we are as a brand closer to like who we are as people and as a team just was very natural. So as we brought in, like the new chairs, like fleshed out the TVs and this like lounge area and all these other amenities, we also wanted to update the look. And I actually personally designed the logo. I'm very excited about it and pumped to start putting it on actual merch that should be coming really soon.
So, content creator, business owner, poker player, now logo designer. So hit him up.
I wear a lot of hats, and I think that's what pretty much every small business owner does.
Yeah.
It's not that different from being a content creator in a lot of ways. Like most people who start out in content don't have like the team. They don't have the person behind the camera. They don't have like a community that's willing to do support in various ways. But as we've grown, I've also gotten team members and other things to support as well. But along that journey to that point, like you just learn everything that you can and do everything that you can.
Got it. Well, I was gonna say let's go ahead and continue, but because it's 3-0 and you're probably gonna beat me in this next round, I'm gonna ask you another question about content creation.
Okay.
Some of my followers probably don't know who you are because this space is so saturated now. Can you talk a little bit about how you perceive content creation in poker now, how it's evolved, your place in it, and your future in it.
Wow, that's a really good question. Poker content has evolved like super rapidly over the last maybe like 8 years or so. Like from the first point that people started making YouTube vlogs, I think was like a big leap. It was almost like a borderline technological advancement where it became so easy to make the content that anyone can do it. That's not to say that making good content is easy, but the barrier to entry in that time span has been drastically lowered. Like anybody with just any old smartphone can pretty much put out something of reasonable quality. So we first started to see people doing that, and that was like a big jump from people with huge budgets, with lots of money behind them, lots of eyes behind them, like poker stars. Those have kind of gone away as like sponsors in poker have gone away. So that vacuum of content started to get filled by people making free content. Not to give a whole history, but like there were really only a couple people doing it when I started. I was probably like the 4th or 5th person who really started doing it on a regular basis and kept doing it. Like plenty of people have started and quit. But what we've seen is that so many people are starting it that, like you said, the space is super saturated. I think that what that has done has forced, like, honestly, the cream to rise to the top. The very best people have gotten absolutely huge because there's just so much availability of content. People find one vlogger, they're like, what is this? They jump to another, they start to find the really good people through the algorithm. But there's also lots of copycats and people trying to just do what they see other people doing instead of finding their own voice and what works for them. People are obviously playing bigger stakes. They're trying to move to short form content and make things faster paced, like with shorter attention spans. And it's really the same progression that we've seen in content overall, like, but within the niche of poker. And I think that my place in it is like very nebulous right now. I don't really know what I'm doing in content now. Most of what I want to focus on is on the business. And so my vlog that I've kind of recently come back to after a pretty long hiatus working here is just my story inside these 4 walls for the most part, because that's such a big part of my life. And because that's like what I've found people always come back to is like the personal stuff and me, instead of like, oh wow, Matt like won a tournament. Like that's great, but I don't see that as compelling or generating as much community or engagement as sharing what's going on in my life. And looking back on my content, like in 10 years or 20 years, like I want to look back and care about what was going on in my life, not whatever poker hand that I won. So that's kind of where I'm framing things now.
Take notes, aspiring content creators, and I'm taking notes as well. Obviously, the content creation has allowed poker to boom. They called last year at the World Series of Poker like record-breaking numbers. We are in a poker boom, blah, blah. I know that has a lot to do with content creation, live streams, etc. With that being said, do you see yourself having a live stream here?
Hopefully someday, yeah. I mean, it's always been in the consciousness, but I will say, like, similarly to how I view my own content, we're going to take more of like a local approach, more of a engagement community approach, rather than a let's just get as many views as we can. Because really, like, what we would want to accomplish with a live stream is highlighting our players, our community, highlighting our games, and our real games, not these like astronomical stakes that aren't really accessible to people. So
got it. All right, let's get this game going. See if I can. No, that's great. If I could catch up, I want to make this $20 here. All right. Oh, you go first, right? All right. I don't even know why he goes first, but he goes first.
Because I scored last.
All right. So 4 points. Oh, you keep going, or is it one? Oh, no, we go. Come on, cancel. Oh no, that's okay. Game's gonna be over soon. Ooh, I have a shot. Gravity!
It's open.
God. So you have 5 now, unless I cancel this out, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You could sink it.
It's over. Game over. I didn't even make one. Anything, a good game, I'll pay him his $20 in a bit. Anything else you'd like to say to everyone? Something that I might have missed?
Nothing major. I'll get a little sappy. I mean, part of being a content creator is just like working super hard, usually for years without really anything happening. And honestly, like a lack of success. We see the people who rose very quickly, and we assume that there was not work behind that. But you even look at the people who rose super fast. Like I look at, you know, somebody like Rampage especially, like people are like, he exploded onto the scene. It's like, that dude was making content, like not poker, but making content, working super hard, busting his ass for literally years before he found poker as a niche and found success. So from the bottom of my heart, like I just want to thank everybody who's followed me since I was terrible at content, you know, but still working really hard at it and loving the process. And if you are new as well, just realize that you need to love the process first, because most likely you're not going to be the next Rampage, and even if you are, it might take you years to get there. So that's all I got.
Matt Vaughan, everyone. Barrel Social here in Franklin, Kentucky. Come check it out, everyone. The videos do not do it justice here. I just want to say the vibe here, the ambient, the staff, the players, everything's just really top notch here. Like for only being, you're about to get to your 1 year anniversary barely in March. So for that, man, it says a lot. So you're doing something right. Everyone's doing something right. Oh wait, we have to, okay. So if you guys are still listening, I gotta pay him this $20. There you go. Duncan.
Put that on the thumbnail.
that was an easy win for him.
Those were the only 2 hands at the 1-3 table, so it wasn't long until we finally opened the 2-5. So we sit down in seat 7 just because it's the best vlogging angle. And our first hand, again, we are giving action very wide. We are on the button with Jack Deuce of Diamonds. I like playing this hand. Don't ask me why. For those of you who do know, you know why. And Jesse, who actually works there, really friendly guy. You know, he kind of manages the place underneath Matt. So if you guys are there at the barrel and you see Jesse, say hi. Yeah, he sat down to give some action to play, and we go heads up after he opened to $20. The flop came King, Jack, King. So of course we have a pair of jacks here. He c-bets to $30. I call. The turn is a blank. He checks. I bet 75. He folds, and we take this first 2-5 pot down. So let's see how the night unfolds here for us. This next hand is dirty. We have the under the gun player opens $20. We have the middle position player calls, and we're on the button with 5-7 offsuit. Of course, we're not here to play theory. We call and we go 3 ways to the flop of ace, king, 8, 2 hearts. They bet here. I'm pretty much done with this hand. I'm not gonna get into some trouble here, but it actually is gonna check around. The turn is a 9 of spades, giving me a gutter here, so any 6 gives us a straight. And now the under the gun player delay C bets to 55. Not sure if I'm using that term correctly here, but middle position then gets out of the way. I'm just gambling here. I call, and then we go to the river, which is a bink 6 of spades. We have our straight here, ladies and gentlemen. He checks to me. I bet $100 for value. He then flicks it in. I turn it over. So gross. Everyone is like, of course he gets there, and we scoop up this nice pot in our second hand of 2-5. So again, not here to play theory. We want to get invited again and just make this experience good for everyone. But man, they start just getting mad because I just get there with all the action I'm giving. This very next hand is an example of how not to play. But anyway, we are in under the gun position. We have ace jack of hearts. I open to $20, and we go 4 ways to the flop, which is amazing. It's 8, 9, 7, 2 hearts. We have a nut flush draw and a backdoor straight flush draw, and we end up checking here, and it checks all the way around, and the turn is the 6 of diamonds, and now any 10 gets a straight here. So I am not going to be putting money into this pot into 4 players. I don't want to get check raised by any 10s that already have their straight, so I'm hoping it goes check all the way around, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. But anyway, I check into the 3 players, and then Jesse over there, last player to act, goes all in for $106. And as you can hear my table talk here, I end up saying, you know, why did I not c-bet the flop? I don't know why I didn't c-bet. This is what I get, etc, etc. But I am not going anywhere with a nut flush draw as well as a straight draw. If the 10 comes, if a black 10 comes, I have the better straight. So I end up putting in the call. Everyone else folds, and I let him know that I have a draw, and he shows king 10 offsuit for the turned straight, 10 high straight. And the river's an ace of diamonds, giving us a pair of aces, but that's going to be no good. And Jesse's going to take this pot. Nice hand, Jesse, and that's what I get for playing this hand terribly. terribly, but who knows? Maybe it would have been the same result. Who knows? The very next hand is just a PLO double board bomb pot with a $500 betting cap, which means after it's reached 500 in the pot, we can no longer bet and you just go to showdown. I believe that's the case. But anyway, if you've ever also been to like Portland Meadows or poker rooms like that, they do this for every dealer change. So there's a different button for the PLO bomb pot going around. But anyway, not gonna get too much into this hand. Long story short, I end up having like a full house on one board, and we end up scooping it, which, you know, is really rare in these bomb pots, double board bomb pots. It usually ends up in a chop most of the time. So anytime you scoop a bomb pot, it's pretty special. It's pretty good. But this is like very high variance oriented, because you can either get really stuck or get very in the green because of these bomb pots. So anyway, just wanted to show this scoop. We're in the cutoff, and we look down at queen 10 of diamonds. We have middle position who opens to 15. We just go ahead and call. We could 3-bet sometimes here, and we end up going 3 ways to the flop, and the flop comes deuce 9 ace with a diamond. So we have backdoor Broadway, backdoor straights, and backdoor diamond draws. Middle position c-bets to $20. I make the call, big blind gets out of the way, and we go to the turn. The turn's now a jack of spades, giving me an open-ended straight draw. So any king or any 8 is going to give us a straight. And middle position doesn't slow down. He continues to bet for $65, which is not a lot. Of course, we're giving action, and I am a calling station at this point, so I end up making the call, and the river is a bink 8 of diamonds. So of course we get our straight here. He ends up betting small. I think he bets like 95. I end up putting him all in for, I think, $400, $400 or $500, just because, you know, I want to be polarized here and target any 2 pairs. Maybe he has a hand like ace jack, ace king, I don't know. There's no flushes out there, and our hand is, I wouldn't say it's disguised, but you know, those are the hands I just want to target here. Put them all in, and he ends up folding, and we take this nice pot down. So let's keep getting there. If you're enjoying this, hit that like button. Again, this is a Friday cash game meetup game at the Barrel. A lot more action to come. Stay tuned, but this is getting really fun. This next hand is really fun here. We have the ladies in the hijack, so we have pocket queens here. There's an under the gun straddle for $10, so we make it 35. The button calls, under the gun ends up completing for a 3-way flop. So we go to the flop, and the flop comes queen high, so we flop top set. It's pretty dry though. It's queen 7-3 rainbow. So, not much going on here. I'd rather just check and allow them to catch up. Sure, we can c bet here and, you know, try to represent ace high hands, but we end up checking, and it checks around, and the turn is a 9 of clubs, and now the under the gun starts leading. He bets $40. And I want to build this pot now. I don't want to go too big though and scare anyone off. Be obvious that I was slow playing a monster. I just kind of min click it here. I make it $90, so 50 more to go. The button ends up thinking about it, and then he folds. The under the gun player then calls for 50 more, and we go to the river, which is a 3 of diamonds, so no flush draw. It's a blank, nothing else going on out there. It's a queen high board. He checks to me, and I think about it for a while. I'm trying to think, what am I targeting here? Is there really a final queen out there, like a queen 10 type of hand? Maybe a non-believing king 9, ace 9, but regardless, I gotta go for value, so I end up making it $250. And something in his gut told him that I don't have it. It's pretty much air, because why did I check the flop? He ends up calling, and we show the bad news. I say top sets, and he ends up folding. Later on, he ends up leaving, but we're actually going to check in with him. Andrew's the guy that paid me off with top set on the river.
I thought you said paid me off. Like, damn.
So what did you think I could be bluffing with there? Or
I convinced myself that you could have turned 10 jack suited because you raised pre-flop. You had about 4 combos there.
I checked flop.
And I just didn't see all the value.
Yeah.
So it was like
I'm
10
curious
jack
of what you
or
had.
a weird
You had a pair?
or a weird backdoor flush draw.
You had a pair of
Nines.
nines.
Ace
Okay.
nine.
Yeah, ace 9. Oh, okay.
But I just
Yeah.
it didn't make sense to me, and I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want to see it. Sometimes I would rather lose than fold. You know, it doesn't make sense.
I feel like that's the literal definition of poker.
Great interaction there. Shout out Andrew and Matt there for being part of the conversation. But yeah. Anyway, we continue with our night. We're not done yet. Let's go get some more monies. Anyway, we are on the button in this hand. We have queen 9 suited. What am I doing with this hand? I should be throwing it away, but instead I call a $15 raise, and we go like 4 or 5 ways to the flop. The flop is 8 jack ace with 2 diamonds. We flop a gutter here, and surprisingly it checks all the way around. The turn's a 5 of hearts, so now that it's a double flush draw out there, the hearts and diamonds are out there. Now big blind ends up betting, and I'm not going anywhere with this gutter. Again, we're giving action. He bets 25, I call, and the small blind calls, and I end up announcing for a 10. Oh. Now it checks to me, and after that small conversation of how do we do it when we ask for cards, I just go for some value here for $50 to try to get both of these players to call or make a move. I get the small blind to call, and the big blind folds, and I show my nasty queen 9 offsuit for a rivered gutter. And yeah, we pick up this pot, and we're not done yet. Let's keep going. This next hand is a great representation of what I mean by giving action. We have an under the gun open. It goes call, I call, small blind call. We go like 5 ways to the flop with 10-8 offsuit. So of course we're here for entertainment only. The flop comes 5, 6, 7 rainbow. So we have a straight draw here. Any 4 or any 9 gives us a straight, but of course we want the 9 for the better straight in case anyone has a weaker 8. And the under the gun player now c bets to $50. We get the +1 to just call. I end up raising it to $300, so a massive raise here. I'm trying to get the money in. I'm trying to commit for the action, or I'm willing to, you know, use this as fold equity to remove any sort of overcards or maybe over pairs who might give me credit for 2 pair or some weird straight or some set. And under the gun tanks. He's the original raiser, and he ends up getting out of the way. And now the +1 position ends up tanking for a while before going all in for about maybe $130 more. I snap call and I ask once or twice. He ends up saying twice. So we go to the runouts. So he ends up having set of 5s, and I show my 8s, showing that I'm on a draw. The turn comes a face card and then a deuce. So the top board is him, and then the second board comes out another face card, but then the 4 comes giving me the straight. So we end up chopping it. He's frustrated. He wanted to scoop the whole thing, but nope. We get there and we chop it up. We made a little bit of money, and again, we're here to give action. It's not going to be easy playing against the Llama here. So disgusting hand. This next hand, we have king queen of clubs. There's a under the gun straddle as usual, and I make it $35 in late position. Then the cutoff makes it 75, and this guy's been playing pretty tight. He hasn't done this at all, I think, and so I'm pretty much giving him credit for a premium here. So it folds to me, and I end up just making the call. But he's only got about $300 left behind, so this should be interesting, especially when the flop comes 5 queen 7 2 clubs. We flop top pair with a flush draw, so monster flop for us. I check. He continues to bet $75, so he leaves himself with around $220 around there. And I just want to get the money in. Like, there's really no other choice here. I'm not just gonna call here, so I put max pressure and just go all in. And you know, I'm trying to target obviously those over pairs. Even if he had like the last 2 queens, which is less likely, but if he has kings, aces, I'm willing to get the money in. So he ends up tank folding. He probably gave me credit for something, you know, strong, or maybe he did just have ace king.
Don't you dare.
But again, we're not taking it easy on these guys. The Llama is here to give action and play. So that's gonna do it. That's our last hand of this cash session, and this is me cashing out. A little picture here of Matt, Mickey, myself, and Cass. You know, just like a good friendly selfie here of me cashing out. We are in the green, had a good night session of cash. And now we go into day 2, which is Saturday, which is the tournament day. It's tournament time. So we register for the tournament and we make our way to the table, seat 1. And we're gonna start off with 50K in chips, pretty deep, and I think the level 1 starts 200, 400. So we get right into a deep stack style tournament. This is called the skyscraper. So the idea is the winner is gonna have a skyscraper looking stack. But anyway, we get seat 1, and it doesn't take too long to get into the action. Our first hand we get involved in, we have ace jack offsuit, and we opened and we went 3 ways, and the flop gave us a backdoor straight, a backdoor nut flush draw. So it checks all the way around. I'm in position, so I'm going to realize my equity here, and the turn comes a 9 of hearts, giving me an open-ended straight draw along with the nut flush draw. It checks to me, and I start betting. I get 1 caller, seat 6. The river is a 7 of spades, and now he donk jams into me for about 30 bigs. I don't mean to nit roll him here because I do have the straights. However, I have a lot of hands that still beat me. He could be slow playing a flush on the turn. He could have queen jack and for the higher straights, and I've never played with this opponent, and you know, it's a tournament. This is really, really strong. So you know, after thinking about it, having the ace of hearts, having a jack, it removes some combos. I end up making the call, and he says straights, and he has actually the lower straight. So he has the 6 for the lower straight. I have the jack for the jack high straight. So he did value own himself and overplayed this hand. You'll see that a lot of these players out here are, you know, they're wrecks and they're overplaying sometimes. But anyway, this is a gift. We get this nice pot in the beginning. Apparently this player is wild. He likes to play last longer, but his rule is unlimited rebuys. He's just known to be a wild, aggressive player, so I'm glad I was able to win it against him this time. After taking some pots here and there, our next hand is ace queen of diamonds, pretty hand. I open and we get 2 callers, and the flop comes ace high with 2 clubs. I continuation bet for only 1,000, and I get only 1 caller. And now the turn brings in a flush, so the 6 of clubs comes out there. I'm gonna go ahead and check, and the in position player now that I'm heads up with ends up betting now. He takes the betting lead for 2,000. I call because I could still be ahead of any, you know, hands like ace 10 offsuit, maybe with the 10 of clubs. You know, we have top pair here, but that's really much it. I'm not folding for this bet. I'm getting good odds. And then the river comes a king of clubs, putting a 4 to a flush. So I know at this point I'm probably not good if he has any club. I'm gonna go ahead and check, and then he checks back with 8-7 of clubs. So he did have the flush on the turn. He said he didn't want to see another club out there, but even if there was no club out there, I probably would have thought about his next bet if he would have bet for value on the river. Maybe he saved me some money, who knows. So I'm gonna lose this pot, and he's gonna take that one down. Now I'm gonna show you a marginal hand, a hand where I shouldn't even be involved in, but I'd play this nonetheless. Blinds are 300, 600 now. We have a razor over there in C8. We get like 2 callers, and then I'm on the button with 6-8 offsuit, and I end up making the call. And what do you know, the flop comes 8-6-4 rainbow. We flop top 2 here. It's actually gonna check all the way around, and I end up just starting to bet for value. So I bet 4,000, and it gets to the original razor who just makes the call. And we go to the turn, which is the ace of diamonds. And now the original razor donks. He ends up betting 12,000, and I end up announcing all in, and he snap calls. And of course we get the bad news. He has 5-7 of spades for the flopped nuts, and we don't end up pairing the board with a 6 or an 8, so we end up paying this guy off, and our stack takes a huge hit here. We probably lost like 40 bigs, and we're back to average stack now. So don't play 6-8 offsuit in a tournament, guys. And I again, like, I take full responsibility for it. Trying to get wild in this tournament, but that is exactly what I did. We're pretty short now, and we're gonna have to start push folding, and that's exactly what happens when I pick up pocket 3s. I get seat 7 who ends up calling. He goes all in as well for less, and it's a flip. I show my pocket 3s. He has 8-9. When the flop comes queen 3 king, it makes me feel good as we flopped a set, and then the turn comes a jack, and as he's leaving, everyone was telling him, hey, wait up, you still have some outs.
Hold on.
Oh my!
Jesus. I'm like, hold on. You still got out.
You got the stand-up equity.
Yeah, the stand-up equity.
on that flop, you think I got any chance there? I don't.
And of course, the 10 comes, giving him a straight, runner straight, beating my set of threes here. He had less, so we covered him. So we take another big hit to our stack. So we're left with about 2 bigs, and we end up going all in with queen 10 offsuits. You know, the very next hand, we get called by pocket 8s, and we have a straight draw. We have a gutter. We need a jack. The jack doesn't come, so we lose to pocket 8s, and we go to the cage for a rebuy. I'm trying to get a quick double up here as I'm a little bit below average, and I have pocket 7s in my first hand, and I go all in, and I get called by a shorter stack with ace jack. And the 7s are looking good until the river brings a jack, of course, you know, doubling that player up, leaving me with a shorter stack. Our next hand, we are all in against pocket kings. We have queen 9 suited. Pocket kings are going to hold, and we are going to double another person up. Our next hand, we actually go all in without looking. Again, there's like 4 minutes left before the break, and I'm trying to get a double, or I go rebuy, and it's actually not that bad. We have king 8 of spades, but unfortunately, we are up against something better, and we end up losing. So now we have a third bullets, and we are here at a new table. Third bullet, and we're still trying to get some double up. It's like level 12 now, and we are all in again with king jack of spades, and we are up against king 6. So we have him covered, and we have top pair. He has backdoor straight with a pair of kings. And when the turn comes a 5 of spades, it brings a sweat, giving him an open-ended straight draw with the king. And fortunately for us, the queen comes on the river, knocking him out and giving us more chips for our stack here. Could this be it? Is the third bullet a charm? Is this gonna get us in the money, possibly binking this tournament? Let's find out. So our dreams of cashing and shipping the skyscraper tournament in Kentucky at the Barrel is now over. Cass and I ended up ordering Zaxby's, which is a sandwich chicken place after that, and we ate, we played a little pool, and then I convinced her to play 1-3. So as you can see here, she ended up registering so she could play. Fortunately, I didn't end up recording the hands, but just know that she ended up making $400 to $500. So I could be creating a monster here, and I was a little bit proud after seeing some hands and spots she was playing in, and how they went her way. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for me and Cass at the Barrel, and Matt is going to take us to the hotel.
That's probably why they told you that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us, Matt. Cass had her first session, and she won like a lot of money. Yeah, so we'll be Ubering back. Hopefully we don't get kidnapped. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
And,
updates to follow,
yeah.
kidnapping updates.
And yeah, thanks for having us, and we'll be back sooner than you think. I really want to come back. Like this was really fun. No, honestly. If I didn't go to Triton, then I'd be here for the yearly event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which everybody should go to.
Yeah, there you go.
Edwin, because
Plug.
yeah, yearly event. We've been open 1 year as of March 3rd, so it's coming up on just about a month. And well, I don't know your upload schedule, but
No, this would be up way before that. Like in a week.
Okay, cool. Then in 3 weeks, you should come to the Barrel Social Club, and
yeah.
we are going to be running a tournament every day, March 6th to 11th.
There you go.
50K guarantee main event.
Woo!
We're probably going to crush it.
There you go. All right. Have a good night, guys.